first thing I'm gonna do is put on some background music if you don't mind. And the background music I'm gonna use is copyright free. Flip this around. Okay. See if we could find a playlist. Sad Trap, no copyright music. Oh, you know what? I don't even have my headphones plugged in. That should do it. Let's see. But why don't I hear anything? Hold on. Oh, this is off. That's why. Okay. Score. Alright. I'm Master Lukey, the mixed martial artist, also known as Luke Kumo, the silent assassin. Hey, what's up, John? Nice to see you. I'm gonna make a recipe for a friend of mine, a friend of mine, a close friend of mine. He's no longer in New York, although he comes back and forth. But he buys medical marijuana from me for his prescription. He has a prescription because he had cancer. And he says that the way I make it, it works better and it's cheaper than what he gets from the dispensary. I don't know how they make it. I make an actual food. And so I'm going to make that. I'm also going to go over a text message I got today from Janie, which, if you don't know, Janie and I first got together in 2013, I'm going to say. And it's been a rocky road, and she broke up with me, but she's still texting me apparently because she watched my last video where I posted her text. So I'm gonna go over that. It's kind of funny, it's kind of not, it's a little sad, but I don't know, it's content. Anyway, the first thing I'm gonna do is start the marijuana, and I'm putting it in a base of quinoa. So what I got here is called the Instant Pot. It's basically an automated pressure cooker. So I'm gonna plug that in. Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna put all the quinoa in. Even though I'm not going to use it all, I'll figure out something to do with it. I waste a lot of food, to be honest. I think it's from working in the food industry. It's just like you got to push the product. You got to make it all and order more and keep everything fresh. So quinoa is a 2-to-1 ratio of water. We got distilled water here. I'm just going to use the container that the quinoa was in. So here's 1. Here's 2. And and then a little extra. Alright, and then I'm just gonna make sure all the little seeds are wetted up. And it actually only takes 1 minute once the temperature comes up. It's not 1 minute total because the machine has to heat up. But all you gotta do is set it to steam 1 minute. It's on. And then we're ready to rumble. Alright. So the weed that I got for this order, shoot, it doesn't say. I didn't even ask. You know, I'm not a dispensary. I mean, I am a dispensary, but I'm not a I'm not big enough that, you know, I have different strains. I just say, I text the guy, I need 14 grams. He says, okay. He calls me when he's outside. I get it. And then that's what I got. So, I don't know what this is. I can smell it through the bag. It's strong. Always is. And this is how I make the weed. Now, first of all, let me put this in the pot. I'm just going to heat the pot up so that the water cooks off. And I'm going to put the weed in a base of coconut. So I'm going to take the top off. And then I'm just going to eyeball it. If I have this much weed, I'm going to use this much coconut. So I'm going to say that's about a cup. So I'll use a tablespoon here. And then I'll spoon it in. I don't want to spill it, so that's a start, and we'll do just a little more. Alright, so we got about a cup of coconut. Now the weed we're gonna put in here because it's going to pulverize, it's going to turn into a powder. Dense. Smells very potent. And it feels moist. Oh yeah. I'm in a good mood already. Damn. Holy. It's been a while since I had any weed. I've been doing the lion's mane mushroom. Woo! Boy, do I love it though. Oh. Mm, mm, mm. So I'm gonna plug this in. Turn it to a powder. Yeah, you can do a little more maybe. Doesn't have to be crazy. Alright. Now the coconut is going to cook. And it's going to melt them in. And then I'll check that in about 2 minutes. And then I'll pull up the beginning of this. Let me see here. I just got to keep certain messages private, so hold on a second. Let me see if I can open this in a new window. Let's see. What if I do this? Okay, because, you know, apparently she's reading, so we just have to protect the innocent, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, this is a message that I sent myself. It's a picture of the Mat Factory in Pennsylvania. So I see places that are open that are, when I look at their Instagram, if they're not having their students wear masks in their pictures, I make a note of that. Okay, so let's see. Can you see that? Okay. Now let's go over to the. Sorry, I don't want to keep going back and forth, but you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Let me come over here. Alright, I'm gonna break up this coconut so it melts a little faster. I'm using just a fork here to break up the chunks. Okay, and then that's enough for now. Doesn't have to be totally liquid yet. It's going to. And then ooh, is that too high? Hold on. That's too high. That's too low. That should be in the middle right there. Okay. So because the weed is so sticky, I gotta actually use my hand to get some of the shake, the dust that's stuck to the inside of the container here. And then there's some stuck on this part as well. Okay. And then, I don't know if you can see that. I'm just gonna make sure it all gets into the coconut. And we'll just let that cook for a little bit. So you really don't have to let it cook until the wheat turns brown and the oil turns green. Now I can hear it sizzling, so that's too high. I'm gonna turn it a little lower. That's all the way up. That's all the way down. We're gonna turn it to a quarter. It's just gonna go on a low heat. Okay. So what I was saying was that. I sent myself a picture of this place in Lower Burrell, Pennsylvania, called the Mat Factory, and they seem to be having classes, grappling classes with no masks. And so they're going on my list of touring places to visit when I'm touring. Alright, and let's turn this light off. Alright, so I think that's going to be a good, that looks like it's not too bright for you guys. Alright, and then I'll just try and zoom in here. And then I'll do what I can to read and maybe because it looks blurry. I don't know if you're going to be able to read. So, alright. As a backstory, just real quick. Janie, she came into my life in 2013, I think it was, or 2014, when I got out of jail for, I guess it was considered contempt of court by making YouTube videos about my family court case. She found me on Twitter. She came down from Canada to meet me. You know, we talked over the phone. Then she came down from Canada to meet me, and we had a rocky relationship. Mostly because she got on my nerves, and when she was away, I cheated on her. She really got on my nerves. You know, I'm not perfect. I get triggered, but she really got on my nerves, and I wasn't the only one. We're talking about a person who has problems with people. Okay? A lot of people that I know that knows her, she fights with them. Everybody I know that she used to complain when we talked, she used to complain to me about all the people in her life, always fighting with everyone. Alright? So it's not just me. I do accept the responsibility that I have in all my relationships. You know, it takes two to tango and stuff like that. But anyway, I spoke a little bit in previous videos about me being schizophreniform. You know, I believe that, you know, my family is part of a cult, and I was conceived in a ritual to become, you know, the Antichrist. On some level, I believe that. And when I say Antichrist, I'm not an evil person. What I'm saying is that the word Christ in this context, I'm using to describe somebody who is completely for the people. So Jesus, he was not for sale. Jesus was free. Me, I'm branded. I branded my life. In 2005, I incorporated my name. I became Luke Kumo Incorporated. At that time, I said, well, fighting is my job, so all my food, all my clothes, all my travel, and basically everything that I spend money on is for my business. So I want to be able to write off everything and not pay taxes. So since then, I've become Master Luki, and my whole life is dedicated to one mission. So in terms of Jesus being spiritual, I'm equally as spiritual. I was raised as a Christian and a Catholic, and I had a heavy mushroom trip when I was 19, and I came to the realization that Jesus is inside us. That we are Jesus, and my friend described it to me a long time after that. He said, He's us. He's us. So Jesus is God in human form, that we all are. I'm a spiritual person. I don't want to hurt anybody. My whole life is dedicated to protecting people. But just as the yin yang has an equal part black as white, my spirituality is being co-opted into the commercial realm, which is of this world. So you have the spiritual world, which is to all living beings, and you have the satanic, the temple of the one eye, the money. That's everything for sale. That's the evil stuff that they're doing with vaccines and what else are they doing? The evil stuff is that everybody has a social security number and a name in all caps, which it's like the dark side of spirituality, that people, they do blood rituals on animals. I don't eat animals. I don't do blood rituals. I never took a blood oath, but I have completely incorporated my life to be to have my mission, my spiritual mission of this world, if that makes sense. Christ meaning not of this world, spiritual, no money attached, and then Antichrist meaning I'm branding that and making it into a business. I mean, I guess you could say that the biggest business in the world is the Catholic Church. But I don't think that's a good business model. I don't see that being attractive to kids, to teenagers. Maybe by force they were able to stamp it on our lives. But modern science shows that in order to sell somebody on something, you have to make it attractive to them. That incorporates a full charge of the brain. It's called whole brain functioning, and that's what my teacher, Dr. David Jubb, did his postdoctoral work in, where they mapped out the brain in terms of language. So they were able to see what parts of the brain light up when you speak, and then that technology ended up being incorporated into neurolinguistic programming and sales. I'm turning this off. Turning that off. Sorry, guys. So anyway, Gavin says, I was on The Ultimate Fighter and I just looked up your name mid-episode and found this. Wow, it's been a long time, Gavin. I'm 40 years old this year, bro. If I didn't shave this, it would be all spotted gray. And there's some gray here, and my hairline is thinning out on the sides here, and there's gray in there. So I actually was watching a video earlier. It was tough. Somebody posted it up. Best moments of Tough 2. So it brought back some memories. Um, Janie, I'm gonna read her text in a minute. She said she discovered me on Tough 2, but I was with, my girlfriend at the time, who ended up becoming my wife and now my ex-wife. Um, and then when I got divorced, and then due to the circumstances surrounding that, involving the kids and my brain injury and the stress of it making me go crazy, and then me not knowing how to deal with it, so I did go off the deep end. Anyway, I ended up in jail for 8 days, and Janie's got a thing for guys in jail. She's obsessed with Ted Kaczynski. She boasts that she speaks to him through letters, and he apparently, this is what she says, masturbates to her picture. She says Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, has Janie's picture on his wall, and he masturbates to it. That's what she says. Anyway, Janie finally, had enough with the cheating, and to be honest, I think if the borders weren't closed, she wouldn't have broke up with me. But because we haven't seen each other in over a year, it's just enough is enough. It's like what is the relationship if you can't see the person? I mean, this, we don't need pen pals. We're grown adults now. I'm 40, she's 30 something. John says, what kind of cult? The name of the cult. Well, look, part of being schizophreniform is that you believe everything is a conspiracy. So I'm on Long Island. It's upper middle class and upper class. There's some very, very, very rich parts of Long Island. So I believe that everybody's in the Freemasons, at least. One of my old coaches, I've seen a picture of him with a Hollywood actress, and he had the all-seeing eye necklace on him. The Italians, they're in the mafia. The Irish have the mafia. My dad, he says he knows Masons. I don't know that I ever asked him outright, because I'm kind of like shy about it. It's like I'm not in the club, so I feel like funny about asking people, like, oh, are you a Mason? It's like I never asked anyone. I only know for sure 2 Masons. One because he told me when he was an old training brother of mine. He told me when he was going, when he first joined, he told me about it. He said, if you can't beat him, join him. And he was a big conspiracy theorist before. He still is, but he says he's not too active anymore. The other Mason that I know, we connected through Facebook, and we still stay in touch. And I tease him, and I say, look, give me Solomon, give me the key to Solomon's treasure. I want to get the Mason money to invest in my brand. I believe that we're all under the same God, and I believe that God, it didn't have to go up through the ranks. He's floating on top of the pyramid. And my belief is, if I'm the most spiritual person that I can be, which if I believe, what I'm just said before about me being, chosen as the, as that person on earth, I don't have to go through the ranks. I don't want to have to go through the steps where people are going to be on top of me. Because when I went to the first Mason meeting, they were eating chicken salad. And anybody who doesn't know about the brain of the gut is not going to have a fully functioning brain, and all of that esoteric knowledge that's been passed down through the eons, I think it's like a big book that you don't have to read. I think you can watch a YouTube video and learn without the rigmarole, without all the rituals that are probably too much pomp and circumstance, and it takes 10 people and 30 emails to open a window, like in a courthouse. You understand what I'm saying? It's such a bureaucracy, I think, and this is what I believe, that I can get to the top of the pyramid without actually going through the Masons if I'm pure of heart. And I believe that they can recognize that. Now, if you go to my parents' house, above the fireplace, there's 2 stars. There's 1 star on each of the fireplace. I never asked my parents about this. They claim to be Roman Catholic, but everybody that I know that I believe is a Mason, they have a star somewhere. Like on the front door of the house, hanging in the window, on their business logo. And there's 2 stars out of nowhere. They're big stars. They're probably about this big, and there's no picture in it. It's just stars. So, I don't know what the name of the cult is. My family's mostly Sicilian. My dad's brother is in some brotherhood of Sicilians. And there's Kumos in Sicily. They have a wine farm. So, you know what? I don't know what the name of the cult is, John. I don't want to know. I don't want to be involved in any blood oath, in any ritual where people may or may not have been harmed. I just want to do what I get from God as my message that comes in directly to me, not through anybody else. And if that's crazy, well, I guess that's what it is, because you got people going by a book where Moses talked to a burning bush, so I don't think it's too crazy. John says, both of my grandfathers were 33rd degree Masons. Nice. Hey, man. I think that's a good thing. And I probably would recommend it to my sons, because I heard that they take care of each other, you know? So, I don't know if I want my sons to go through the stress that I've gone through in my life, the really dark days. And I don't know if it's because of my brain injury, my depression that I had since a teenager, the combination of that, or just life. You know? I want to take care of my kids. I want them to have I guess I don't want them to have an easy life, because then they wouldn't, you know, they'd be kind of like a spoiled kid. But it just, if I knew that my kids were going through what I was going through mentally, you know, the times when, the things that I was thinking mentally, I probably wouldn't feel good about my sons doing that. C Game says, kids are useless. I guess, I mean, as kids they are. C Game said, speaking from experience as a current kid. Okay. Well, look, I mean, it's true. Kids can't do much, but you know, it's like a seed that's going to grow into something, you know? You have to have faith. I mean, everybody who has done something in their life was once a kid, so don't give up hope, C Games. John says, the only thing I think at the very top, they worship the fallen angel. I know what you're saying. Well, you know, I believe God is inside, so I think that's a metaphor. But I have heard things in terms of rituals that people do. So I really can't speak on it, you know. My name is Luke, has the same root word as Lucifer. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. Luke is the patron saint of doctors, though. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. But like Gavin says, what caused your brain injury? Sorry if it's private. No, it's not private. I mean, it's very public, and you can see the video on UFC Fight Pass. Just go back and look at all the fights when I got grounded and pounded. Well, you won't see the times in training when I was concussed and received subconcussive blows, which are, you know, times when you don't get knocked out, you just get punched in the head. What's up, Anthony? Gavin wants to know how I got brain injury. First of all, it was MTBI, mild traumatic brain injury. I never got knocked out. I have a decent memory. There's a bit of fog in between when I retired and you know the couple of years after that, a little bit of fog, but I think that also had to do with the stress that I was going through. It's kind of like I blacked it out. I think that's something in PTSD. When you go through stress, some people, they black out like the painful memories. But the most damaging blow that I ever received, Gavin, if you want to go back and look at my fight versus Jonathan Goulet, he had me up against the cage, and I don't remember which round it was. It might have been the first round, might have been the second round, might have even been the third round, I don't remember. But I was up against the cage, on my back, with my legs, I believe, either in open guard or in like a butterfly guard. He was on top of me like this, and he came down with 3 elbows. And they hit me here, on the top of my head, and I remember, like a lightning bolt, my vision just like went white. And I thought to myself that I have to get out of this alive. Like I literally felt it was one of 3 times in my life that it was a unique time in my life. The other 2 times when I did feel the cold touch of death. One time was from actual cold when I felt the cold into my bones. It was so cold, it was cold into my bones. And I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, you know, comfortable, 10 being frozen to death, and 5 being when you start to freeze to death, you know, so like it's gradual. You know, I was definitely above 5. I was, you know, I wasn't freezing to death, but it was like that's when it would have started if I didn't get inside. And that night I was sleeping in a car outside in Nebraska, and the wind was coming through the car. It froze me down to my bone. So I literally walked through Walmart for 6 hours just so I wouldn't have to be outside in the cold. And then finally went back outside to the car when it like got daylight again. And the other time that I felt death was when on my last UFC fight, when I was about to walk out through the curtain and I heard the crowd, and I realized that they weren't cheering for me. They were cheering for the spectacle. And I felt like I was about to become a sacrifice in the Coliseum. And then so this time, when I was fighting Jonathan Goulet, I think that was the first time I felt death. He came down like this on the top of my head, and I have disc here with the pictures of my brain scan, but I can't read them. I have to take them to a specialist, and I just got new health insurance, so I could cheering for the spectacle, John. I don't know if it was blood Because for me personally, when I get hyped for a fight, I want to see, I want to see the excitement. I want to see the action. I don't necessarily want to see people get hurt. And I have to believe that, people are, I'm like other people and people are like me. They might like to see the blood, um, because that's like, it's like somebody giving of themselves. And people love MMA because it's such a pure expression of your effort. It's not like you're hitting a ball or you're running with the ball. It's like you're using your body. It's like you're using everything that you have. And that's why people love these fights where it's like you come back from the brink of defeat and you give everything you got and you're bleeding. And it's literally you're pouring yourself out. So I would hope that it's not a sick thing that people like, oh, I want to see somebody fucking die. Although I could see how they could, because some people are fucked in the brain, some people, I think it could happen from having too much animal flesh. It desensitizes you to the blood, and I think also drugs do that by affecting your ability to be empathic, or what's the word? Sympathetic. Like people on cocaine and other chemical drugs like Adderall and stuff like that. I think it makes them more sociopathic, but that could be a theory. Modern day gladiators, yeah, Anthony. Um, uh, it's true. The way that the rules are being practiced now in the UFC, it's close to gladiator games, and that's why fighters have a short career compared to other sports. But hopefully, if you guys know what I'm about, you know that I have a safer alternative that I'm building up, and it's been a long time coming. I will admit that I'm a slow starter, I guess, but you got to realize that I don't have Mason money behind me yet. I do have potential investors, which I'm very thankful for, but I have to do a little more legwork to get myself, off the ground and get a bit of momentum so that money can really project me forward and out. Maybe I will get that Mason money. Why not? People want to make money, right? I think if you think about it logically, okay, you have two people fighting right now. Yes, I still watch UFC because I'm a student of the game. Although it frustrates me because of the damage and the people and the fighters knowing of the damage, you don't get as much action as you could because a lot of the combos have to be shortened. So, I don't get to see as much as I would like. But I still watch almost every event when I can stay up late. The last event I had to go to sleep before the last two main events. I love that guy Davison Figueroa though. Love him. I love how skinny he is. That's a man who has nothing else in his life except fighting and training. He really is the god of war. He's my favorite fighter right now. 100%. I also like Charles Oliveira because his submissions are crazy. He's fighting Tony Ferguson in the next one. Gavin says, I really appreciate the explanation. I'm a huge UFC fan, so personally hearing this from you is real cool. And what you said about walking out is really interesting. I'm always going to think of that. Yeah, I mean, the fans is the best. The excitement of the fans, that was really one of the best feelings. And then, for my last fight, that was the worst feeling, and that ended up being my last fight. Anyway, where was I going with all that? I think I was just responding to your question. So let me get into this. So the brain injury was an MTBI, mild traumatic brain injury. I believe I have a scar there, and I have the disc that I can get scanned anytime to see the pictures. I got scanned. I need to get the pictures read out by somebody who has the correct program, because I can't just put the disc in my computer and see the picture. It's like a code or something. Um, but the MTBI, if you look up symptoms of mild traumatic brain injury, it's like irritability, anxiety, depression, emotional disturbances, loss of memory, a little bit of slurred speech. Um, Nothing crazy, but it was enough to take a volatile relationship, which I already had, and just send it over the edge. And then nobody really knew what I was going through because I didn't get diagnosed by anybody. So they just thought I was going crazy, and I had no support in that regard. The thing about mental health today, in today's society, is the the response is to just drug everybody down. They take somebody who's having a tough time and they turn them into a zombie because they can't deal. First of all, they don't understand how nutrition plays a role in it. So you have kids who are hyper, and they put them on Adderall because. Uh, Hold on a second. They put them on Adderall because the kids are on junk food. Now, I did not support Joe Biden, HN. What are you talking about? I'm against Biden. I voted for Trump. I'm against Trump too, but I'm not voting for Biden because that's a vote for Kamala Harris. He's not going to last. And then you got a female president. I definitely didn't vote for Joe Biden, bro. I don't know where you came up with that because I trash talk on Trump. I mean, it's better the enemy you know than the enemy you don't know. Nah, bro. I never said I support Biden. Hell no. Never ever did I say that. All right. So yeah, but come on, bro. You think Trump? You think Trump is a savior? Come on, the guy's a honeypot. He beat everybody, and now we got Operation Warp Speed, bro. It's still a little green. I think. Yeah, he's better than Biden. Um. No, I don't care if she slept her way to the top. She's female, and that's enough for me. The experiences that I had in my life with my mom, my girlfriends, my wife, I don't want a female in charge of anything. I'm sorry. I don't think it's misogynistic. I think they're not logical enough to be in a position of authority. Dumb versus dumber, vote for dumb. Okay, John. Yeah. Gavin says, it's dope you're aware of the effects. Imagine how many fighters' lives are affected like yours and it's swept under the rug. Bro, it's bad. It's really bad. And, it's bad that not, I'm not, doing a better job because there's nobody else that has a solution like I do. So I really I gotta get on this. Master Luki's League of Champions is the only way to fix it. HN says I like Big Pharma in the sense they make me opiates. Well, I'm not with you on that, man. I might get you on kratom. Instead of the chemicals. To be honest, I would rather make you some poppy tea instead of popping pills. At least you could say it's somewhat natural. It probably would have less side effects. No offense, bro. I'm on your side. Alright. I'm just going to get a flashlight here. And then go into the... Oh, shit. I forgot about the quinoa. The quinoa is well cooked. Okay, so... What exactly is the business you keep referencing when you're talking about Mason Investors? Okay, so Gavin, I have something called... Yeah, so I think that's brown enough. Let me just turn up the heat a little bit more, and we'll just finish it off. So, Gavin, what I have is called Master Luki's League of Champions. So we have Master Luki brand. And that's the overall brand of martial arts and nutrition. So I have recipes, I have apparel, I have equipment. But Master Luki's League of Champions is my new regulatory system for mixed martial arts. The first rule is there's no head contact. So that is referring to anything above the collar line. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. Here's my travel suitcase. I'm going to be going on tour and teaching my new rule system to everybody in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. I'm going to go on tour. I put these wheels on here. I have enough equipment in here for about 5 people. So I can have a mini tournament wherever I go. And I want to live stream that and basically go viral by walking into town and challenging the master and fighting them under my new rule system. So the investors that I'm looking for are going to help me build that. I want a tour bus, and I want to get to the level of the Olympics. This is the collar line. So, there's no head contact. There's no contact above this line here. Okay, now, the first rule is no head contact. The second rule is no finishes. I don't know if I have any pamphlets here. I think I might have taken them to the gym, but I've been working on this concept since I left the UFC, and I have a bunch of flyers and booklets that I made. Okay, so you can see everything's padded from head to toe. We got gloves. Even though there's no headgear, we still wear, even though there's no head contact, we still wear headgear just in case. My tour is called The Safest Way. There's elbow pads, there's knee pads. Don't have any pamphlets here. But if you look up Master Luki's League of Champions on YouTube, you'll be able to see some of the action. The 2 rules is no head contact. The second rule is no finishes. So no finishes is referring to any contact outside of the collar line. For example, don't break your partner's ribs. Don't kick your partner's knee sideways. If you punch somebody in the body and they get the wind knocked out of them, maybe they need a timeout. Like if you're sparring at your dojo, your academy, and you hit your partner hard and they go, oh, hold on. You know what I'm saying? They need a little timeout, but you didn't send them to the hospital. They're not finished. If you get somebody in a heel hook, okay, now we're talking about, I'm going to my website right here. Hold on. So I could just, Roxbury, is that Massachusetts? I'll be going to Massachusetts for sure. I might have to sleep on your couch, bro. Let me know. I'll come up there soon. If you got a gym, connect with me. Text me. We'll make it happen soon. If you have a gym. Where am I going here? MasterLuki.com. Okay, so here we have, click on where it says MMA. Turn the light off. Yeah, it's a different fighting league, Gavin. It's more of a sport. If you think of what happened in mixed martial arts, for it to become a sport, it had to become regulated. All I'm doing is continuing that. Making it more regulated, making it more of a sport, okay? You used to be able to do headbutts. You used to be able to gouge. You can't do that anymore, and that's a good thing, right? You have to wear gloves. I'm adding more equipment, okay? We got a full face headgear. That means it covers the chin as well. Mouthpiece, chest protector, elbow pads, gloves, knee pads, shin pads, and foot pads. Basically, if they make it, I wear it. I even wear a neck guard from hockey because my neck got broken 2 times. So now, I mentioned the heel hook. So, my scoring system is called power hold. So power hold is referring to control. Martial arts, it doesn't teach you how to beat people up. It teaches you how to control yourself. Okay? If you can control yourself, as it says in the Art of War, if you know yourself, then you can defeat somebody else. But only if you know yourself can you know somebody else. You can't expect to beat somebody else if you don't even know yourself. Okay, so martial arts teaches self-control. Can you control yourself going up and down in push-ups, right? Can you control yourself when you're sparring somebody not to hurt them? Power hold. This is my scoring system. Okay? It's power hold for XP, or you could just say for points. Power hold for points. Okay, so now, it's a running meter. And now the Mason money or whatever money we get for the league is going to go towards several things. First of all, the tour. Second of all, the technology. Now, we need motion capture cameras that are going to see people fighting and then turn that into a number on a scoreboard. If you can imagine two people fighting and they have a scoreboard which has a something like a heart monitor, and every time the fighters are doing something, that heart monitor is going up and down, and then their score is going up and down. Not down, I'm sorry. The score keeps going up. So think of a heart monitor. We have a rough draft sketch that I did here. So the match starts. Every match is 5 minutes. Since there's no finishing, every match is 5 minutes regardless. Now, you can tap out. It's not against the rules. You get a restart. Okay, but now the match begins. You get a score from 1 to 100 for every second. If you're doing nothing, 1 point per second. Okay? Gavin says, I see. Like you said earlier, combos are shorter because fighters are worried. Yes, that's true. And this would open up everyone. They'd go all out. But would this change grappling? No. Let me explain the grappling, okay? So now, every technique scores points. So a punch would go up, it would come back down to the base, or if you put your combos together, it would go up and then it would look kind of like it would go up and down fast like that. But you have something called force points multipliers, where if you do moves together, they get added, but they also get multiplied. So instead of, say you do 2 punches, which are 100 points each, instead of 200, you actually have 400 because it's 2. It's 100 plus 100 times 2 because they were put together in a combo. So this is an algorithm. It's a mathematical formula that's going to have to put into a motion capture camera when we get enough funding. Okay, so now, about grappling. So every technique can go up to 100, especially grappling. Even grappling, especially grappling. A punch could knock somebody out, so we could say that can get up to 100. A rear naked choke could knock somebody out, so we could put that up to 100. But now, say you get a move. It could be a grapple. It could be a position like mounted position or side control. It could be a choke. Okay? But now, instead of making the person tap out, say it's a choke, instead of making the person tap out, you hold that for time. So this is where it will change grappling, but it won't change the technique. It will just change the strategy. So instead of cranking and breaking somebody's arm, you hold that arm bar for time, because the longer you hold it, the more points you get. So that arm bar goes up, and now it's going to stay up for the duration of you controlling that position. And that's why we're calling this power hold, because you're controlling the position of the armbar or the choke or the heel hook or whatever it is, and you're keeping that high score. So say it's a choke, you're getting 100 points per second, you're holding it, you're still getting those points. Every second it's staying up there for a maximum of 45 seconds because, we want to keep the action moving. We don't just want somebody to stay in the same position for the whole 5 minutes. So at 45 seconds, you either get a restart or you get a warning at 30 seconds. And at that point, you can transition and get your Forex points multipliers by stringing your combos, by stringing your submissions together. You can call them submissions, I call them power holds. By stringing your power holds together, they get added together and multiplied. So that's where the formula will come in again. So say you go from rear naked choke to arm bar. It's going to get multiplied, and we're talking about millions and millions of points. Okay? Millions and millions of points. My dream is an LED screen. So you have two sides here, right? Where's the mouse? Hold on. You have two sides here. Two fighters, their score, and their LED screen, right? So say fighter A, he's doing his moves. Now he's doing these things, and as he's doing it, it's like raining down coins. Because I want these guys to get paid based on their score. Not a fight, not a show and a win, not a finishing bonus. You get paid you get paid you get paid based on what your score is. So you get a higher score, you get more money. And that's the gist of it. Let me see if I could just show you a quick video, and then it smells like the weed is cooking too much. Let me actually turn that off while you're watching this. Two brothers. They're beginners. Oh. The only thing I got to figure out is what to do in term. Oh, I was gonna stop watching after my blunt kicked the bucket, but I guess we're rolling another because I'm intrigued. Okay, well, you can go onto my channel here, and I have a playlist called Master Lukey's League of Champions, and I have a bunch of footage of the action. So I want to go from city to city and fight everyone, all the school owners, all the current fighters, all the up and coming fighters, all the ex fighters. I want to fight Ronda Rousey. I want to fight Chris Lieben. I want to fight Rich Franklin. I want to fight Randy Couture again. And I'm probably going to get my ass kicked a lot. And with my natural health background and my safety regulations, I'm going to be able to have the equivalent of hundreds of fights. Whereas, most fighters, look at Khabib, he's retired. He's only had 30 fights. I'm going to go from city to city and have hundreds of fights over the next year or two, or however many years. I'll fight for as long as I can. I'm banged up. I got injuries, but I'm telling you from experience. from fighting people and from doing this, it's the same energy as a real MMA fight without the damage. And there is damage. It's not injury, though. There's a difference between being damaged and being injured. Injured means you can't continue. Damage means you're hurting, but, you know, you're going to continue. You like to see me fight Ronda Rousey? Ha ha! She probably beat my ass on the ground, though. No lie. But, she had to catch me first. Alright. So, let me make this weed mixture. The only problem is my blender is really on its last legs. I gotta be honest. Oh, jeez. Hold on. I might have to... Let me see if I could... I can't. Let me just see if this will even work. Fuck, that would suck. I mean, I could still make it in the bullet, but it just won't be as creamy. See, that part's good. The base is fine. The base is fine, but this is very stiff. And I don't want to spray like WD-40 in there, but listen to what happens. See, and now it's locked. It gets locked. It won't come out of the base now. Oh, there it is. Maybe I could... I mean, and they have a great warranty. Although this is well past my warranty. Maybe when I get some money, I'll get it fixed, or I don't know. I'm supposed to be fasting anyway, so I shouldn't be eating. You know, one of these days. One of these days, guys. One of these days, I don't know where I'm going with it. One of these days, it will be one of these days. That's all I can say about that. All right. So, quinoa, if you didn't know, is a complete protein. Complete. Got all your amino acids in there. Boom. We got the measuring on the side of the thing here. So, we're going to put some down there. Start with that much. Alright, now we're gonna put the weed in. So it's 14 grams of weed. Let me just make sure it's not leaking out the bottom. Okay, good. I was just thinking, John, because you said something before about the fallen angel. See, I tend to think of things as a metaphor, and what I would say about that is the evil part of that is thinking that a man could improve upon nature. That's the way I would interpret that being evil. If somebody like Bill Gates actually believes that vaccines improve immunity, it's evil because a doctor cannot improve upon a healthy baby. Um, we have a natural way that we evolved to exist, and as much as we could stick to that, we won't have these health problems that people are having. And the reason why people are having these health problems because we're not living as God intended or as we evolved as animals in nature. We become detached from nature, and all these conditions are lifestyle diseases. That's what I would say. So, I'm out of honey. I'm just going to put a splash of apple cider vinegar. I don't want it to be tart. I'm going to put a pinch of Celtic salt. A little more than a pinch. And then for the sweetness, this is what I'm going to put in there. Apricots. Apricots, for anybody who's a chef, this is butterscotch flavor or caramel flavor. And I think I'm gonna have to put a little water in, but let's just see how this blends. That's not good. I think the blade just came undone. Fuck. That's the worst thing that could have happened. God damn it. This is horrible. This is the worst thing that could have happened. I knew this thing was on its last legs. I freaking knew it. And now... No, it's not. The blade is not undone. Something down here is not working. Oh, it's this. This is broken. John says, in the Frankenstein movie, the villagers come with pitchforks and axes and burn down the castle, but they GMO our food and give us bad drugs, and no one seems to care. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna have to actually text my dad and see if he can bring his blender over tomorrow. That's the only thing I can think of. This thing is broken now. This base, it has these teeth that are supposed to connect into here, and these teeth are all worn out. And that's what happened. Fuck! That's it. I'm gonna have to eat it all myself tonight. Yeah. Except that he gave me $150. I spent 110 on weed, and I spent another, let's see, it was $7 for the apricots. It was $8 for the quinoa. It was $6 for the coconut. So that's another $20, 130. So, plus I just put a little, I put a negligible amount of apple cider vinegar and Celtic salt, but I did think about uh, spending half of the money that I would. So instead of getting 14 grams, I thought about getting 7 grams because he said my friend said if I want, he said make sure you take some for yourself. So let me think. Well, the guy's coming over tomorrow, so I think what I'll do is I'll find out either he's going to drive me to my parents' house and we'll blend it over there, or I'll have my dad. See, my dad's not going to want to bring his blender over here. I know that. So I'll just get my friend to drive me. Now, I can't take it out and mix it by hand. I'm just going to take this base. This carafe, I'm going to bring it. I'm going to put it on my dad's blender and just blend it like that. And then I gotta send this in for repair, or maybe I could order a piece. I don't know if I want to start futzing with that thing by myself, but what's the worst that could happen? It already is broken, right? All right, so let's see what Janie's saying, and then we'll end the stream for now. Oh boy. Okay. Alright. So yeah. Delete that. Here we go. See, I don't know why it was like, maybe if I flip the camera around, let's try that. Oh yeah, there we go. So, I don't know, were you guys here the other day when I read it from Janie? Look at this one. Alright. So, apparently she saw the video, and I think she was looking at my Facebook, and I'll tell you why. So, this is from Janie. Nobody wants to feel like they are in jail. People ask you for proof of things, and you can't provide it. So I think she's watching my Facebook because today I posted that or yesterday I posted that I got banned from Facebook for saying COVID is a scam, and then I wanted to let everybody know that I don't believe that a virus is a contagion. I believe that viruses are actually the product of a sick person that's breaking down. So the disease actually comes from us, and it doesn't come into us. That type of thing. Got overheated or something last time? What you mean? What you mean, Anthony? My blender? Oh, yeah, no, I beat the hell out of that blender. Oof. And that's the commercial one, too. So anyway, somebody was asking me for proof today on Facebook, and I was gonna actually do it, but I felt like I might have been wasting my time just because I could tell by the way the person was wording things. They were kind of like being like a troll. Like they didn't want to actually learn something. To they just wanted to shit on what I was going to say. So I didn't want to give too much effort just so this person, wasn't going to change their mind anyway. So I ended up blocking the person. And I think maybe that's why she's saying this part here. People ask you for proof of things and you can't provide it. But then she goes on to say this: prove David Jubb is a shaman and psychic. Well, Jubb never claimed to be a psychic, and he does use the word shaman as a medicine person, as a healer. He's trained in the Native American tradition, but she thinks the only way you can be a shaman is if you talk to dead people. Gavin, this is Janie. We got together in 2013, I think, or 2014, and then we had on and off relationship for years. And oh yeah, it got stuck to the pad. That's right, Anthony. Yeah, so I think it just melted or something. I think maybe the metal had a protective coating, and it melted off, and then the metal is just gone now. It's like stripped and everything. So anyway. So Gavin, Janie, yeah, we dated for a few years, from 2014 until recently. So it was about 7 years, I would say. They call it the 7 year itch. If you can get past 7 years, you're good for another seven. But I cheated on her basically the whole time, and she pissed me off the whole time, and a lot of things happened. But I don't regret anything, and I still care for her. But to go back to my schizophreniform, I believe that she was sent as an MK Ultra to be my beard, which is a term in Hollywood referring to an attractive woman to make the male star look good. They want the male star to be relatable, so it's easier to sell a man in a relationship than somebody who's not able to be in a relationship. That's what I thought. Or think. I don't know. She doesn't seem like she's going away. She said last time it was the last time she's going to text me. She wanted closure. She's moving on. Now she writes this. You want to control people like they are in jail. Don't want people to eat what they want. Well, look, I know that people, they're stuck in their ways. What I want to do is make a Master Lukey brand of health food so that if people want to do what I do, it's easy. You just buy my stuff, and it's all healthy. And I do want to make junk food illegal to manufacture. Not to eat, but to manufacture, for two reasons. First of all, if you're making money on food that's killing people, that's not right. And second of all, most all of the ingredients that's in junk food is actually destructive to the environment in the way that it's produced. So that's not right either. This is the air that we all breathe. This is the water that we all share. We have one planet. It doesn't belong to anybody. So if somebody's polluting the earth with pesticides or farming practices, like animal agriculture, and it's harmful to everybody else, that's not right. That should be illegal. So she's kind of right, but I'm not saying, I'm going to pull the fork out of your mouth. I'm just going to do what I can to change the world in a better way. Let people live their lives. You're not paying anybody's bills. Talk about eating healthy, but buys produce that's not organic and filled with bug spray. Well, I'm shopping on a budget. I have a market that's within walking distance, and that's where I shop. So yes, a lot of the stuff that I buy is sprayed, and I just do what I can. You would make anyone want to kill themselves. Well, I couldn't know. I can't speak on that. Supposedly, supposedly she supposedly she threw herself down a hill when I cheated on her or something. Um, but I never saw any proof of that. You know, if somebody's in another country or in another state, she used to go to California apparently. They could say things, but you don't know what is true and what's not. And a lot of things that she says doesn't add up. So she says, when I hung out with Lance, this is the guy that first, when she found I cheated on her, she first said she was having sex with him for years. Then she went back and said, no, I only said that to hurt you. I never slept with him. Then she sent me a text saying, between her and him, saying that she wanted him to come cuddle her. And it was like, it was like sweet messages back and forth, like, oh, I need you to cuddle me. And him saying, oh, yeah, come here, you little cuddle thing, you know? So, you can't trust these people. When I hung out with Lance, I never wanted to run home. Nobody would use me for my money or tell me what to eat. Nobody will stay with you. Everybody will run from you. You're a schizophrenic psychopath. Say you want to help people, but use people and hurt them. You're nasty. F's women that look like a man. Crying on a video you got dumped. I'm not crying. I didn't even cry when my wife cheated on me. The only time I cried was when I realized I was losing my sons. And I did cry, and I cried a lot, and I still cry. But I will never cry over a girl. Now, I might be sad. I might be sad at the thought of losing a friend. But I'm not sad about a girlfriend. I'm not sad about sex. I'm not sad about holding hands or, you know, I don't know, whatever we used to do together. You know, I could be sad that the times that we shared, they're gone, and I would be sad, and I would be jealous when you move on. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not crying. Don't say that. I'll be happy for you. I'll be jealous, but I'll also be happy for you. Okay, crying on a video you got dumped. Not true. Who wants a bum and a loser? Not me. Every spirit told me I'm going to be rich and famous. Okay, she talks to spirits. Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, my spirit guide, Paul Walker, my great-grandmother. Every spirit I talked to. You're going nowhere in life. You thought you were going to use me. Like F you will. Your mother is stink and nasty. With yellow nasty stained teeth. Fat, racist. Well, I mean, look, I mean, whether or not any of that's true. Okay, Gavin. I mean, I don't think that spirits exist by themselves. I think once you die, your spirit joins with God, and and that's it. So she may be hallucinating. John, you know the old saying, "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned." She's mad. Now, whether or not my mom is fat and racist, it may or may not be true, but I just never got, and I don't understand why that you would think, I'm talking to you, Janie, why you would think that you would say that and then is that like, do you think that's gonna hurt somebody, and then is that gonna make you feel better? It's like you call me a bum. Okay, I live in a basement. I make no money. I am a bum. But what do you expect to get out of that? Like, oh, I'm just gonna quit because you called me a bum. Okay, I'm going nowhere in life. What do you want me to do? Just like give up? Okay, no. Sorry. I know you're mad, but you got to think about things. It doesn't make sense what you're doing. And that's why I don't want Kamala Harris as a president or any female, because they don't make sense. They just do things for emotion. That's what you came from. You say Packy, but using a Packy gym to make money. Okay, so she I never heard the word Packy ever in my life. I never even heard of it until she told it to me as a terminology uh, against people from India. Now she looks Indian, even though she's claims to be of Trinidadian descent with Native Mohawk, Native American, and Brazilian. So I think what happened was people from India colonized Trinidad. So a lot of women or a lot of people from Trinidad actually have brown skin and look Indian. So I tease her and I say, "Oh yeah, well he she calls people Packy." I said, "Well, that's your ancestors anyway. What's the point?" So I tease her and call her Packy sometimes. All right, my bad. Nobody wants to f a nasty tiny dick. Oh, she got me. Did you think I would stay with you while you f nasty whores and come trying to give me your nasty disease? Well, I've been tested. I actually had a girl who wouldn't have sex with me until I got tested, and I did, and I came back clean. So, I don't have any disease. Oh, yeah. I saw in the crystal ball the witch nose had a threesome with the two black guys. Okay, the witch nose is the girl I had a relationship with for 6 months while Janie was in jail for harassing a woman that I cheated on her with. She had something with her nose, like one nostril was kind of like it looked kind of like shriveled up. Great, beautiful eyes though. She had a nice body, pretty face. She just had one nostril that was kind of like it looked kind of like it was kind of like it's hard to describe, but she called her the witch nose, and I barely noticed it. You know, she was apparently sleeping with somebody else though. Um, that's your wife, right? That's what you wanted to breed with. Ha 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 ha. No, I didn't want to breed with her. I did tell her I wanted to breed with her because I wanted her to do cleansing. So I thought that if she did cleansing, maybe I would think about having more kids. But then I asked my son, and he doesn't want any siblings, so I decided against it. Good, it had a blank dick behind your back. What a loser. No taste in women. Well, that might be true. I wouldn't say I have a taste. I mean, I have. I like good looking girls. I like pretty girls. I like nice girls. No taste in anything. Look how ugly your kids came out. Warped and deformed. Nah, that's not true. Look how it cheated on me with a hooker. You bullied me and the hooker for our cars. No. And had accidents. No woman wants a bum with no car or money. Wanted my car to drive the witch nose around. Like, oh, I would give you my stuff. After I gave you $300 in birthday money, you went and effed the witch nose. What a psychopath. Nobody likes you. Good you're not allowed in Canada and built up countries. Okay, so I did go to try to see Janie in Canada, in where she lives, in 2011, and I think it was 2011. No, no, not 2011. 2017. 2017, I think. Maybe 18. I don't remember. I went to go see her, but I got turned away at the border because of my criminal record. I have two things on there. One was the um, what was it? It's a Class B felony. Contempt of court for the YouTube videos. Also, the first woman I dated after my ex-wife had a kid, and I slept over their house. She lived with her mom, and I slept over their house one night, and oh, excuse me. What happened was I took the kid out with the dog, the mom's dog. No, the sister's dog. The woman's sister's dog. So I don't know if the sister was living there or just came to visit. I think she was just visiting. Anyway, the dog was rowdy. This dog was not trained well, and we ended up walking around. I tried to, I do Cesar Millan's method. I just try to tire the dog out on a nice long walk, and we ended up at CVS, and the kid, who was probably about 5 or 6 at the time, probably 5. Excuse me. He wanted to go into CVS. He said, "I want to look at the toys." And I couldn't leave the dog outside. I couldn't even tie the dog up because it was so wild. It would like jump and shit like that. So there was only one entrance in and out of CVS. So I stayed at the entrance. I said, "All right, go run in, look at the toys, and come back out." While he was in CVS, one of the employees saw that he wasn't with a guardian and called the cops. So I'm sitting outside there with the dog. The cops roll up, arrest me. Actually, they made me take the dog home. And while I was in the house, they came in, arrested me in the house for endangering the welfare of a child. So because of that and the Class B felony, which was contempt of court, I got turned away at the border when I went to go see her in Canada. So that's true. Okay. Good you're not allowed in Canada and built up countries. Nasty brags about effing the cow. Used that to promote your nasty shit diet. This was a woman who... Alright, this is going to sound bad. Guys, have you ever heard of the term slump buster? Type in the chat if you ever heard of a slump buster. So, I wouldn't say we dated, but we had a relationship because I had a couple of girls that I was rotating at the time. Anthony, you're right. You're right. And this one, she goes off the rails. Because I think she still loves me, and that's why she's still hounding me. If she really didn't care about me anymore, she would just be done with me. But she keeps coming after me, and this is like one of 50 texts that I've gotten in the past year, which is the same thing over and over and over again. It's literally the same text that I get in different words. I mean, it's the same words, but maybe in different orders. She says the same thing over and over again. Anyway, this woman that I'm talking about, Slump Buster, we had a relationship for... you never heard of it? Slump Buster is when a guy, you're lonely and, it's been a while and you settle for somebody who you wouldn't normally settle for. You lay down with a woman who's not your ideal. You bang a fatty. When it's been a while, you're lonely, you're in a slump, you pick the low hanging fruit. You sleep with somebody who is also lonely, and if I'm a 6 out of 10, she's lower than that, so I'm an upgrade. It's easy for her to it's easy for me to score, with a slump buster. So anyway, that's not Janie. This is another woman that Janie's calling the cow. But I did date. I wouldn't say I dated her. I did have a relationship with her for a while, because at that time I was living in the gym that I was working at, um, and she wanted to lose weight, so she was paying me to train her, and a um, and cook, and we would get together, and she wasn't paying me to cook for her, but I cooked a lot of her food. So she was posting my food on her Instagram, and I was posting the food on my Instagram. So John says a slump buster is a 10, a 4 with a six pack. Okay. Yeah. She definitely didn't have a six pack, but I get what you're saying. Used that to promote your nasty shit diet. Who would eat your food with something that looks like that hideous whore pig? Why you think you own me? Well, I've said that to her. I wanted her, I'm talking about Janie. I wanted her to model for me. I wanted her, as my beard, to help me get famous because, you know, sh- drama brings views. Any publicity is good publicity. The most views I ever got was videos when she was on it, and the most responses I got on my Facebook and stuff like that was when she was on it. So I did want to own her as, part of my brand. And she knows how to grow weed too. Nobody owned me. Nobody pays my bills to tell me what the F to do. When I get famous, I don't know you. You don't exist. You and the cow should have stayed together. Bum needs to use pickup videos and dating apps to lure women in and use them. In the 90s, 80s and 90s and 2000s, a group of guys started out in California, and they systematized the social interaction between men and women from initial meeting to relationship. They systematized it and really got it down to a science. Just like studying martial arts videos and training under people who know martial arts, I think it's something that men should do to learn how to interact with people in a social setting and a romantic setting. Call it pickup, call it social dynamics, call it whatever you want. Men have been there, and they have videos on YouTube teaching you what they learned, and I'm not embarrassed to say that um, when I got married, I married the first woman that I had a sexual relationship with. I wasn't a virgin, but I was never in a long-term relationship before. I married her, and I didn't know how things ended up the way they did, for better or worse. So when the relationship was falling apart, I looked online and tried to figure out through these pickup and social dynamic videos. And I even got a free consultation from somebody because he knew me from martial arts. and it's helped. A lot of the things that I learned by watching pickup videos, by watching social dynamic videos, I use still to this day in my interactions with women and people. And it makes sense that it works because it's based on experience, which is a form of science. They have a theory, they test it, they report back, they specialize, they refine their techniques, and there's core principles that are common in all social interactions and in romantic relationships, and you can learn this stuff. So I'm not embarrassed about that. It's easy for a woman, especially a good-looking one like Janie, because she never had to learn social dynamics because men approach her, and she's a filter. A good-looking woman has to have a filter. They don't have to put themselves out there because they're always getting approached. So she thinks, oh, it's bad that I have to use pickup videos and dating apps to learn how to meet women. But she's not very socially calibrated either, as you can see by these texts. Used my money to pay for a ticket for a meth head hooker when I was busting my ass working 2 jobs to pay for a lawyer. Good, your life is shit. You will die a bum and alone. I said thanks. And I was thanking her for writing this because it gives me something to talk about on my channel tonight. So now, when she says, used my money to pay for a ticket for a meth head hooker when I was busting my ass working 2 jobs to pay for a lawyer. Okay, so the woman that she's referring to did come to stay with me for about a month. She was addicted to drugs when she came. While she was with me, she got off the drugs. She lost about 30 pounds in a month, 20 to 30 pounds. And she got money through Facebook. Her friends put money on my PayPal account for her ticket. I did not use Janie's money to get that woman here at all. And then busting my ass working for 2 jobs to pay for a lawyer. That's your fault, Janie, because you went off the rails and made, from what I heard, up to 40 profiles and websites harassing you-know-who was so distraught from what you did, harassing her on a daily basis, that she pressed charges on you, and you had to go to jail for that. Now, I cheated on you, but I didn't make you go crazy and harass that woman to get yourself locked up. So, that's on you. Sorry. And then, good, your life is shit, you will die a bum and alone. Well, that's your opinion, and I don't need to be rich and famous. I do need to be successful, though. So, if I make Master Luki's League of Champions and I live like a monk, that's okay. I can live like a monk as long as I drive a supercar to see my kids. Then they'll think I'm cool again. And I have a tour bus, but it can all be under the company. So I personally will be penniless. And that's okay because I don't need anything. Everything I have in this room here is for my business. My computers, my food, my cooking utensils, my clothes, my equipment, my pens. I don't have anything in here that's for enjoyment. Even Fortnite that I play that to look cool and have something to talk about with kids. And in particular, my kids. So, I'm a monk. I'm a bum. Will I die alone? I think what she's saying is I will die without a wife or a girlfriend. And, I think at some time in our life as men, we no longer have the drive to have sex. And when that day comes, I'm hoping that I will be fulfilled in the other areas, that life is more than just being fulfilled through sex. And I wouldn't expect you to understand that, Janie, because you're so insecure. You need to have the attention of men to feel validated. But I don't need anything. I'm only on YouTube to build up my channel, to build my league, to hopefully connect with people and maybe give something back. But I don't need you to be my girlfriend. I'm not crying over you. Alright? And if you ever come back, uh, I'm only going to take you back as part of my brand. I personally am sick of your bullshit. Always have been. And that's why I send you packing after a few days. But I gotta do it for the show, I gotta have the drama for the show. So I hope she does come back. Or I hope they send somebody who's gonna be good for the show. In my schizophreniform thinking, she was sent, or she is here, even in text form now, to make me look good. So that's that. That's the show. If we had a fail here, I got to get that carafe, which is this part here. I got to get this on my parents' blender base tomorrow somehow. Either my dad's gonna, I'll text him anyway and see if he can bring his over. But if not, let's see, tomorrow, Wednesday, I could actually go over his house tomorrow night. So I can do that. Let's do that. I'll have my guy who's coming to pick up the weed, I'll have him bring me over to my parents' house. I'll make the stuff. No, but the thing is, my dad's gonna ask what I'm making, and he's against weed. I told him, one time I was making the stuff, and he goes, "Oh, so you're a weed dealer now?" I said, "Bro, he had cancer. He had cancer, and he has a prescription. And he asked me to do it for him as a favor." So, let me text him now. Text my dad. Where is he? Can I borrow your blender tomorrow to make one thing for a student? It's true, it is a student in health. So, that's not a lie. I told you guys I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be 100%. I'm going to be 100% transparent from now on. I'm trying to start fasting. I've been eating. That's my sin. I'm working out, not like I should be. I am working out, but I'm not working out every day consistently like I should be. It's a bit sporadic because of the eating takes the energy out of me. But look, everything starts as a spark. Everything starts far off as a comet. It gets there eventually. Do I have a good relationship with my old man? Well, yes and no. Yes, I see him pretty much every day because I live in his basement here. He owns this building. It's a 3-apartment building. There's 3 floors, and there's 3 apartments. Alright, he's bringing the Vitamix over tomorrow. That's what he says. So when I left Ultimate Fighting, I had 30. I think it was 18 grand or 30 grand saved up. and I put it as a down payment on a house. So when we got divorced, I couldn't afford the mortgage anymore. I kept the house for literally 10 years. It finally was about to be foreclosed on, but my dad didn't want me to be homeless. I was living in the house even when they boarded it up because the pipes froze. Oh, Vondaloo, the Vitamix. Yes, it's the best. Wait, did you say something that I forgot to respond to? Let me go back. No. Okay. Vitamix is the best. Bar none. Nothing comes close. Not even the Blend Tech, which is number two. Alright, he's bringing the Vitamix over tomorrow, if he remembers. He's, let's see, he was born in 1943, so how old is he? 43 plus 57 plus 20, 77. He's coming up on 80 years old, right? 78. He's born in July of 1943. So 43. So in July of 2003, he was 60. 1373 plus 7. 80. Bro, he's 80? Wait. 77? No, I think he's 77. My math is bad. I should write it down. So he's forgetful. He talks to himself. He's definitely not like he used to be, but still very good. For his age, he's active. He's working upstairs. He's working all the time. He works on everything. He never stopped working. But when I was growing up, he was a cop, and after he retired from the police, he joined the Coast Guard. And so I wouldn't say I grew up without a dad, but I remember my mom more than him. I remember him as kind of like the authority figure. So I don't see him as a friend. As a matter of fact, to be honest, I wish we were friends. And I've tried to be that for my sons. I've tried to do what I can to be their best friend. I would rather be their best friend than an authority figure. And my wife didn't agree with me on that, and my parents don't agree with me on that either. They think I should be an authority figure. But I think I should be, what my goal is to be a good example. My goal as a father is to be somebody approachable, fun to be around, but a good example. To lead by example, not lead by yelling and saying do this and do that, but to establish boundaries. And my boundaries are more having to do with physical health. I don't give any junk food to my kids ever. And I let them stay up late and play video games. So, it is what it is. My dad has provided for me every day of my life up until now. I'm 40 years old. I'm still living under his roof, and he takes care of me in that regard. So, God bless him. He's a great dad. Um, and in that regard, we're very close. I see him every day, and I my mom wanted me to become a massage therapist. She wanted me to give up, my well, they still don't think I'm going to be successful at Master Luki brand and Master Luki's League of Champions. So she thought that I should go to school for massage therapy to make money and then pay child support to and give money to my ex-wife, and then she would let me see my kids, and then I could get my own place, and then I could have my kids over, for visitation instead of my mom being the court-ordered supervisor, because she honestly doesn't like me at her house any more than I like being there. You know, she wants to be the grandmother who spoils the kid with junk food. And when I'm there, I make it uncomfortable for her, because I'm like, why you gotta fucking give the kids shit food? Because then they behave like maniacs after that. And I don't want them to be I don't want them to be unhealthy. And there's no denying that food does cause illness, and she's a prime example of that, being overweight and on chemical medication. You know what I'm saying? She's on meds because of what she eats. You can only do so much. What am I gonna do? She's up there too. She's not gonna change her ways. I just lead by example. She's made food for me. She's made food for me, and I said no, I'm not gonna eat that because of what's in it. And then she's changed her recipe somewhat because she wants me to eat her food. So when she makes her sauce, she puts the Celtic salt in it. Her tomato sauce. For Thanksgiving, she steamed a bunch of vegetables, and she said she didn't put any dressing on it except for a little olive oil and some salt, so I can eat it if I want. Um, so my dad said, if you don't go to massage therapy school, I'm not going to let you live at the apartment anymore. So I initially signed up, but then I dropped out, and my parents found out because Janie told on me. Because stupid me, I when Janie and I were talking, I revealed some personal things to her, because like a dummy, it was like all lovey-dovey with her, and I told her things, and then it ends up just getting used against me. So she ratted me out. Mm. That's cool, Anthony. You and your dad are close? Oh, yeah. So, yeah. It's going to be it for me tonight, guys. It's 9:30. I'll probably try and get to bed now. I played Fortnite so much, helping my sons get to the next level. I'm not going to play anymore tonight. Oh. And I got to train tomorrow, so I'm just going to get to bed. You guys got any other questions? Just if you go to masterluki.com, about page, it's got all my contact info there. My cell phone, my email, my social media. Um, we'll talk about my tour coming up and whatever else, recipes, nutrition. Um, Maybe tomorrow I'll come back on and finish up this recipe so you can just see how I'm gonna mix it or whatever. All right, Master Lukey, over.